Record. Okay, hey guys, so first I wanted to give like a really quick illustration before I start anything. It's a little bit backwards, but oh shoot, you guys, I messed up my illustration. I'm gonna record. Hey guys, welcome to tonight's Zoom. Before we go into everything, I want to just make a quick kind of point. So my point is that when you're posting, your main goal is, the first goal, I should say, is to get people to stop the scroll, okay? Because you can have awesome content, something really good to say, but if they don't stop, if you don't get their attention from scrolling, then they are like, you're never going to hear what you have to say. So every time you have to remember that that's your first goal, is to get them to stop the scroll. So these are some ways you can do it. Now, I put my makeup on today, so this isn't a really good before, because most of the time I look like, let me see if I can find something in my phone real quick. I look just crazy. Like, I don't know if it shows up. This is like me on a normal day. Hair's just like back, no makeup, maybe like makeup under my eyes. I just don't look that cute at all. That's real life. And I think there's like this tendency when we're doing something like this, especially when we're starting, to think, I have to be real. Like, that's going to be so fake if I don't show people who I, really am, a false representation. Well, so basically you're just saying, like, I'm limiting myself to being the worst me, because that's how I am. Why can't you be the best you when you post? You can. It's only you that's saying that. If you're thinking about anybody judging you, like, oh, she thinks she's all that, or oh, she blah, 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 or no, that's not what they want. Like, when you look and see your friends look all pretty and everything, you're like, you look great, yay. You're not like, oh my gosh, I saw you yesterday and you look so bad, and so why are you looking so good today? So you need to get rid of all of that false, lying to yourself, and you need to remember to stop the scroll. So I'm going to show you a couple super duper quick ways. One, just do your makeup. If your hair's dirty like mine, put it back into a bun. Put earrings on. These are just my quick. Well, this one's not good. Okay. Next tip, bright lipstick. There, that's done. Mascara is good. And then get in a good light source. So this is my, okay, well, that was before the lipstick and the earrings. Oh, and don't wear big old t-shirts. Like, even when you're working out, try to just take one that looks cute. I know you guys are thinking, like, this is too much work. But, like, would you rather put on lipstick and make more money, or put on a t-shirt and make less money? That's, like, what it comes down to. All right, next tip, just put on a better light source. I mean, it's not like I look awesome like this, but take a couple pictures. I look better than my scuzzy self, okay? Get in good light, and that's going to mean putting a light with a lampshade gone in front of you if you're inside the dark, or stepping out on a porch overhang, or getting near a window, and you want, if your camera is right here, you want the light to be behind the camera so that you have the most flattering light. Especially with the phone, it doesn't handle side light or backlight very well. All right. Having said that, that is an important thing. Let's go over some of the other important things. It's so gross. I'm chewing gum. I'm so sorry. Okay. Success goal is really important. And I think that, I don't know why, but not everybody's going through it. And I know it's like work to do and you have to go through it, but like, it's all, the information's right there. Everything's there. It's not like just a corporate view. It's videos from top coaches that are doing this well. It's just like, I'm just telling you, it's all there. If you last month, that's the first month the Success School went up, and it's not even totally finished or edited or anything like that. But it was the first month that it went up, and I'm telling you, the new coaches that I had that went through it were making like 10, 18, 25, 30 Success Club points. Like, I'm just saying, they went through it. So that's something that's really important, is that you need to lead your new coaches to Success School. And we're going, so I'm going to share screen. Okay, so right now it's housed. We're having some problems when we were just housing. Can you all see the screen? Is it being shared? Okay, we're having some problems when we were going through rehearsal. That's like the website that I made the course through. And so I was able to house it at my website. That's not a finished website, so don't click around because it doesn't look like anything. But it's just losingitwithash.com/success-school. Now, once you have a website down the line, I can not only teach you easily how to embed it into your website so that it's like you're sending your team to your thing, but I can also teach you how we can make a duplicate of the whole Success School, and you can add your touches in there, like a video about meet, you, that kind of thing. So this doesn't have to be like the Ashley business. My whole goal is to make resources that I can pass down to you all that you can easily rebrand by either using your own skills, like if you know how to do, switch fonts and colors around, or that you can pay somebody on Elance. Like, I'm paying somebody to do some graphic design stuff, $6 an hour, which is like super duper cheap, and she's in Mexico. So there's people like in different countries that the dollar goes further, and you can have them do jobs just like, hey, I want you to switch all these fonts out to this color and that color. So that's my whole goal, is to for this to be reproducible, to empower your own team as you build. Okay, so but here's Success School, and sorry, someone keeps calling me. And you can scroll through and go through it like this. If you click on this tab, here's different modules. Go to next. And we're going to be putting, if you've been on it and you've tried to answer a question, so like this, when you're ready, you can make this your thing, and we can plug this in for you. Okay, so if you tried to answer any of the questions before, it was like, you're wrong. Whatever you say, it's wrong. And that's because I didn't understand that there had to be one specific answer, and that you had to get like in all the world. It wasn't just short answer. So we're changing all the questions to be a discussion board. And so this way, I mean, if somebody says they're going through it, they need to be, and I just published it, this like updated it. They can write in, blah, 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 their stuff, post. And then that way you as their coach can go and you can say like, there's nothing from you here that's, you're not doing it. And like, I'm not saying this about any of you, because it's not, this part is not even done. And I don't have a good method yet. I haven't been good about asking anybody, are you doing this? But I'm just saying, like, this is kind of where things need to go as far as starting people off. You can also save your progress, and if you log into here, or you can open up Versal and continue on that if you don't like the sizing and everything about this. So this is very important. Now I also put on the THRiVE. Let me open this up. I spelled school wrong, but I recognize that. And let's see if it's going to show. Basically, it's just a check box syllabus right here, and it just has the different modules. So somebody could complete it in 27 days. This is in the THRiVE 65 book too, the syllabus. And so this is a way when you get a coach started that you can say, hey, I want you to print this out, and I want you you know, every week, just take a picture of it and just show me where you are on the syllabus, or that you can say, where are you in success goal? And they should be able to look at it and like right then tell you. So it's a way to help them visually check the boxes and you be able to have something concrete to ask them about. Okay. Let's see if there's a success goal. All right. Stop share. Okay. So next thing I want to talk about, these are just the things that I feel like are the really most important to gaining quick success and long-term success, are being part of a community. And these are things too, like a lot of these that I would have said, I don't think so at the beginning. Like even the training, I kind of ignored some of it when we didn't have a success goal, but I was some things that they said to use. But community, that's just the sense of, you know, belonging to this team, to the team that you're building. Because, you know, most of the people that are going to be on our team are going to be, they're not going to be like new college graduates, most of them. I mean, we've got Krista and Bryce that are in college, but they're like exceptional, but they're not going to, you know, they're not going to be people that maybe, there are going to be people that are maybe like less, it's harder to connect once you have kids, I guess is what I'm going to say. It's harder to feel part of a community. Like you're just busy and you just don't have a lot of chances to hang out with friends and stuff. So no, you know, people can't get enough of like friendship and being a part of something. So if we invite someone into being a part of our coaching like team, and then like they feel left out, or they're posting on our THRiVE, like that may be a big thing for them to make up. We feel like, oh, we're just like hanging out and like we're so nice and we would never intimidate anybody and we're just a bunch of losers, so like why would you be intimidated by us? But they may feel like, oh, they've got it figured out, or they're older. So we have to make sure that when new coaches come on, that we really pull them in, that we welcome them, that we comment on their, you know, posts, that we look at their Facebooks and we, you know, comment. And that's where I would also suggest, like, if you don't have a success partner already, which is just somebody else, it can be on our team or, you know, outside of our team, that's a Beachbody coach that you just partner up with, and you just are able to text or call or message. You can whine to them, you can ask them questions. And something else that you could do is you could say, hey, will you just reach out to my new coaches and just encourage them? And that could be messaging them and just saying, like, every now and then I get somebody I don't even know that will message me and they're like, I really love that video or that thing you did. And I'm like, wow, that was the nicest thing anybody has said to me all day, because my kids just talked about the PFART train all day and like told me they hated me. So, wow, thank you. So we have to remember that, like, nobody, you know, we can't get enough love and encouragement. So pulling our new coaches in, and not only like helping them get the education because they don't know, but welcoming them into the community. Another part of that community would be things like going to Summit. And I'm telling you, like, I want you all to go. I really, really want you all to go. It's in Nashville. It's July 16th through the 19th. It's Beachbody's big conference. They've got like celebrity workouts. So like Shaun T and Autumn and everything are going to be leading group workouts, but it's more than that. They've got big lectures and workshops where they're just going to be teaching us like tons of stuff. Plus we're going to be connecting, we're going to be hanging out together. And it's just one of those things that really launches your business forward. These are for photography, and it would be, sometimes it would just be one huge aha moment that would just change everything. So they're really fun, but you know, the education and learning is really important. But that point right there was community. Super Saturdays, they have those every quarter, and like this month it's this Saturday, there's none in my city. So I would have to travel to another city, but those are just Beachbody sends whoever's sponsoring the Super Saturday like a a video and it just has new education. It has a bunch of new exciting announcements. You get to meet other people in your area, and it's just part of that community. So also, yeah, I think that's, oh, and then the calls. Being on this call, the 9 o'clock call, Shay's call, like any of those things. I think Brittany's calls, the Dynasty United on Thursday, they are really informative and really, really great. So I totally recommend those. I don't know if I mean, they're good. I think they're better for information than community, but they're really good for information. So those are all just ways to help new coaches, you know, build into our community and welcome them in. Okay, the next thing is personal development. And I just thought, like, I don't have time. At first I said, I don't have time to exercise. Then I don't have time to read. Like, I would love to read books, but I'm sorry, I just do not have that extra time every day. And so I kind of poo-pooed personal development. And what I see now, and personal development is just books about, it could be books about leadership, books about getting things done, procrastination, inspirational books specifically about network marketing. And these are like, I love these now. Now I still don't have time to just sit down and read a book. So I listen to all audiobooks. So I've read or listened to GoPro. I totally recommend that. It will just really show you kind of what an opportunity we're sitting on, as well as how to talk to people. Eat That Frog is about prioritizing your day, getting the things done that are the most important, and just steps how to do that. There's the 5 Languages of Appreciation, which is the business version of the 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman. And it really just shows you, like, it's like taking me back to, you know, having employees in the past and thinking, they probably totally didn't feel appreciated at all, because I was using words to tell them all the time, good job, you're doing great, good job. But they may have felt appreciated by getting a small gift, or me offering to help them get some of their work done, or me giving them a hug or a high five or something. Like, there's just, you know, so anyway, personal development, I recommend starting with GoPro because it's like $6.50 on iTunes. You can listen to it while you drive, do whatever, start there. But that's something that's really going to it's just layers. It's just layers of, like, going in the right direction and success. And so if people are saying, I don't know, this is not working, I don't know what to do. Have they done Success School? Have they read any or listened to any personal development? Are they becoming part of the community? The next thing is, are they the 5-step invite? Are they using the 5-step invite? That's on Success School. And because if you're not using the 5-step invite, then you're trying to convince people to buy something. You're not really listening to what their needs are. And you're also putting all the pressure on yourself to sell your experience and what you think about it. So the 5-step invite, like that, it's just got to be like, new coaches need to learn it, because it's just, all it is saying, like, what are your needs? How do you feel? You know, what are your obstacles? What kind of workouts do you want? And then saying, if I sent you 2 videos about the challenge groups, would you watch them? Like, instead of you saying, well, first I did this, and then I did this, and then this, and then this, and this, and this person did this, and then there's these options. It's just saying, if I sent you these 2 videos, would you watch them tonight? Yes. Okay. Yes. What did you like about them? Well, I like the accountability. Awesome. Well, let's figure out a program for you. You know how you said that you wanted to lose, like, I had someone just message me, an old friend, and she said, you know, I think I want to do T25. But I had asked her, well, what are your goals? And she said, I want to lose 20 pounds. I'm feeling like really overweight. It's not like how I'm used to being. I want to lose 20 pounds. So I don't think she should start with T25, because I started with T25, and I know that my big turning point was the 21-day fix. So I think she should start with 21-day fix and then maybe do T25 after that. Now, she can do whatever she wants, but the point is, if I had just tried to go in quick for the sale, then I wouldn't know what her needs are, and I wouldn't be able to know how to best help her. So anyway, I want everybody 5-step invite before like your coaches even start talking to anybody. They need to understand the 5-step invite, because it's just going to, a lot of times, like what will happen with new coaches is they'll get lots of interest, but they won't take the time to do any of the education or the 5-step invite, and they're afraid they're going to lose things. And then everybody will just like never purchase or go through. And it's because there's not like a connection. They don't know their needs, you know, they put it off. And that happens to everybody, but that's just like at first, a lot of times that happens because instead of it being like more of an expert where you're really trying to help them, it's like they just see it as somebody that they can purchase from. All right, the next thing would be the THRiVE 365 book. And let me see. I have a video that I made about it, and I've been trying to upload it. But if you guys haven't seen it, you do not. Okay, so I found a publisher. I had found it like 12 years ago when we started doing photography, and it's Lulu Book. If you ever need to do anything for yourself, it's Lulu Book, and you can upload anything, different sizes, and it's super duper cheap. So I was able to print, you know, a 254-page color book for like $15. If you want the black and white, it's like $5.50. You do not, nobody ever has to purchase this. I make no money off of it. And there's a PDF version that someone could print, punch holes in, and put it in a 3-ring binder. The reason I created this is because I was printing out the BAT, which is just the business activity tracker that Beachbody makes. And first of all, it just doesn't pretty enough for me, so I was getting bored by it. And second of all, it wasn't visual. It wasn't visual enough for me. I like lots of check boxes and places to write names. So I was printing it out, and then I would lose the papers. Or we had like 1 million spiral notebooks, and they all just looked the same, and we would lose them. So the reason I made this is so that you would have a year's worth of your contacts, what you've done, tracking, so that if you ever feel like, I don't know what to do right now, then you can just flip back a couple of weeks, months, find some people that you added that maybe you never, you know, talked to or invested in, find some people you were supposed to follow up with, but maybe that's the week you went on vacation, and you all have it here, kind of your progress and progression. It also has the 5-step invite in there, so you always have that with you. And it has a progress tracker. And this is, at first, it's not going to seem important to anybody, like how many downline coaches, or how much volume, or how many Facebook friends. It's not going to seem important. But the reason it's important to write this down is because I can remember, you know, a couple months ago, saying like, I've got 2 coaches, like that's awesome. That's so, so good. But then now sometimes I have goals and I'll look at a number and I'll think, oh, like, is this changing? Is this ever changing? Well, right now I've got 289 downline coaches. Those aren't personally sponsored. They're just all downline. And that went from 2 to 289 in 8 months, but yet I can get all down on myself. And so if you keep track, you know, you want to be able to flip back and really just see how far you've been able to come, and if you're making tangible goals. Because if your Facebook friends that you have on your social media, or maybe you want to do Instagram, if it's only gone up like 10 people over the past month or the past 2 months, and you're feeling like you're like running out of people and market, well, then that might be your problem. It's kind of like a diagnostic. So for instance, this is something too that you can also keep your people accountable with, because a lot of times with coaches, new coaches, it's like they're having a hard time, and it's really hard for you to hear that as a coach because you want it so badly for them, and you've given them all the tools, but you just don't know like what it is. So this is something where if they say they're doing Success School, then they should be able to check those things off, and they should have entered answers in Success School. If they say that they're doing their activities, then you should be able to say, hey, take a picture of your, you know, THRiVE 365 for this week and show me. Because if they take a picture and there's 0 invites, you know, or they haven't invested anybody, well, maybe they've been working really hard, but maybe they need to eat this frog first. Like they need to reallocate their time. There's Power Hour in there, what you should be doing for social media, calendars that you can use. Anyway, there's a lot of good stuff. So I really recommend getting this into your hands of your coaches. I think it would be great if, like, one of my goals is to, once people get through Success School, to be able to reward them with a credit, either a credit towards like a free 365 book and white, or they can apply that towards the color, and then the GoPro. Because if someone's going to take the time to go through all of Success School, then those two things added up would be like $10 to $12. I think at that point, if they've invested that much, that might be worth you as their coach investing back into them. So that's just something to think about. You never have to spend a penny on anyone, but you know, this are people that we're dealing with, and we are trying to, you know, help people, and we're not robots, and we like to feel loved and appreciated. Okay, let me find my notes. So, okay, the next one is just consistency. Like, even if you don't put on lipstick and earrings and you have good lighting, if you're just consistent with your workout post, healthy food post. If you look at Sissy Jackson's, one of Leah's new coaches, I don't know if she's on here. No, I don't think she is. If you look at her feed, she's been doing really well, and she's been incredibly consistent. And it's in a very non-salesy way. It doesn't feel desperate at all. It just feels like, I feel good. This is what I'm doing. I'm exercising, you know, like a healthy lifestyle. So just consistency in that, and in any area, honestly, that's not just a picture of your kids or your backyard. Like, because that's what a lot of people just post on Facebook all the time. And I'm totally guilty of that. But that's like, scroll through. So if you can be consistent with your workout and the Beachbody stuff, as well as anything that's just interesting and adds value, that's something that's really going to build your business. The next thing is vulnerability. And I think this is something people really overlook because it's super duper uncomfortable. But if you look at the top coaches, one thing they majorly have in common is they're really vulnerable. Like Lindsay Stay, if you follow her, she's worth following. Like, I love her posts. They're extremely real. She is a recovering alcoholic. I think she's Lindsay Matt, but I think she was just a customer lead, like basically signed up for P90X or something through this website. She got assigned to Lindsay. Lindsay took care of her, reached out to her, and now Lindsay Stays, like, I mean, it's really cool, but she's like very open about her alcohol addiction. Really, really open. And it's just really beautiful because she's, you know, overcome, and it just, you know, you just can relate that there's just always that struggle. So be vulnerable, tell your story. You know, I think that's really important. We all go through like really, really hard, bad things. And I'm not saying air your dirty laundry. I'm totally not saying that, because there are things that we need to do to protect our family, you know, in our relationship. So I'm not saying that. But there's so many things that we go through in our childhood, adolescence, or just like, especially that first, you know, 18 years old and after, that are just very hurtful and kind of like a wake-up call, like, wow, so this is what real life is. This is what adult life is. Holy cow. And you know, you go through those things and you kind of have the choice. You have the choice whether to just let them be bad things that happen, or you have the choice to let them be something, a reason that you can help others relate and tell your story. And I mean, and that's just what I'm like loving, I think, the most out of just this experience, is that we had a lot of financial struggle the first 10 years of our marriage, like really struggling. And we bought our house at the wrong time, and it was underwater. And, you know, before we moved, we had 2 babies sleeping in our small bedroom. And it just, we felt very stuck. We didn't quit our businesses. We just kept adding new ones. My husband went back to school. We just kept adding to our plate so that we could pay our bills. We could keep paying, that we weren't going to foreclose on our home. And it just all felt really useless. Or like the stuff that I went through, I had a miscarriage, and there was a baby that we were going to adopt, and he died after 2 weeks. We never took him home, but he died. And so like, there's just a lot of things like that could seem really useless and bad. But if I can use it, I also struggled like as a teenager just with just self-confidence and like weight and that kind of thing, and just always feeling like didn't matter how hard I tried and worked, I was always going to be the one that, had the pudgy stomach that couldn't wear a bikini, and just felt like, I don't know, like I was terrified to talk to other people in the cafeteria, and I don't feel that way anymore. I feel confident, and anyway, my whole point is be vulnerable, because I wish there had been somebody that would have told me during all those different times, like, it's okay, like, it's going to be all right. This happened to me too. Can I help you? But that's not how you feel. Like the other day, I was like walking through church, and I had a baby in my arms pushing 2 other kids, and then the other 2 walking, and he's at work, and I'm just walking back and forth, and I have to go to a million different classrooms. And like, not one person said, can I help you? I heard like, wow, she's got her hands full, and I hear that all the time, but not one person was like, oh man, I remember that. Can I help you? So we want to be vulnerable, because by being vulnerable, we can help other people in ways that we wish we would have been helped. All right. Okay, there's just one last one that I have that I really think is important. And I don't want to downplay like inviting people, and but that's all in Success School, and that's all in this THRiVE 365 is the tracking, the inviting, the talking to people, the investing. So I'm not overlooking that as part of, being extremely important to success. But if you're doing the other things, like that's part of it. The last one is just personal transformation. We need to be a product of the product. And I don't really like the way that's phrased, because I don't like to think of it as a product, because if anybody would have ever asked me to sell a product, like that's hard for me to even say, because I don't feel like that's what I'm doing, and I would have never agreed to anything like that. However, like that's basically what it is. Like Shakeology and the workout programs, like I said, okay, you're telling me what to do. I'm going to do it exactly like you said to do it. And I'm going to see if this works, because anything else that I've ever tried has not worked. But I'm not going to be one of those people that's like, oh yeah, that didn't work for me. Well, how much did you really do it? No, I went all the way. So being a product of the product means fully committing to, what we're talking about, like what we are selling, what we're, and then there's 2 reasons for that. One is that personal transformations, both like before and after, weight loss, tone, that kind of stuff, that gets the most results as far as people coming to you, people being interested, people following what you're doing. That gets the most results out of anything. It's just those simple before and after. So we need to share those. And then also another part of transformation that we can kind of work on is just, like I said, you can see how my hair frizz is coming out now, but you can't, if I had a still picture, we would be able to hide that. Is just like improving our Instagram, Facebook image, like our branding, just slightly improving it as we can. And so at first that's just going to be putting on lipstick and mascara when you can. And that sounds so vain, but you're not going to have a model come in for some type of, shoot or whatever ideal thing, and be like, oh, you're fine. Like, just be real. Just do how you do. And so that's weird to think of ourselves like that. And so I don't, like I said, I feel like I'm making it superficial, but what I'm trying to be straightforward and trying to be honest, because I believe that doing these small things are just going to make you more successful. And I want you to be able to be with your family more. That's what I want. I want my husband to be able to be home more. I want to be able to school my kids. And so, like, I'm just telling you that doing little things like improving your selfies, putting more selfies, that kind of stuff, it helps. It's going to help your bottom line, and it's going to end up helping your family. So, like, if you have a problem with it, you've got to kind of separate it. You've got to give yourself permission to just do it. I would love it if you felt confident and you liked it. I know most of us probably judge other people, you know, that take lots of selfies and are like, I mean, I totally did. I was like, what are they doing? Like, why are they taking these? But I don't even care at this point. I don't even care. It works. People stop scrolling. They start listening. You tell your story. You're vulnerable. You help people. I don't even care. So I think you just have to, if you want to do this, if you want to do well at this, you just have to, like, shut down whatever judgmental thoughts you have in your own mind about other people, and you just have to kind of go for it. I think my lipstick's, like, super uneven, so that was a bad illustration. All right, guys, I think that is the kind of boiled down basics. I really want you all to take it seriously when you have new people sign up. Don't just throw them to the wolves. Help them. If they're going to get frustrated if they don't feel like they're part of the community and they don't know what to do, and they make mistakes because they're not going through Success School. And I have not been awesome with all of you at this. I am trying to figure this out as I go. And as I do, I'm going to share it with you and share resources to make it easier. So forgive me for where I failed you all, because I'm realizing how important it is now. All right, I want to go ahead and open it up just to any questions, input, advice. This is recorded, so hopefully new coaches this week and then in the future will be able to listen. So if you have anything to add that would help them, that would be great to share now. Anybody? Anything that helped you as a new coach, or that you wish you would have had or known, or somebody would have, like, either pushed you or done nice for you?
Success School really did it for me. It was laid out so nicely that I know you're super busy, and so you basically put everything you knew in there for me. So I wasn't like, hey, Ashley, hey, can you help me? That's why I mentioned today I'm actually going to reread through it, because what I realized that on top of learning everything, it's so motivating to hear all the other coaches and hear you in the videos. And so now that my initial coaching, you know, like you said, when you first sign up, so many people are like, oh, tell me all about it. So, like, that initial wave has ended, and now I actually have to work. Yeah. I know, right? So now it's like I'm going to go back through it and reabsorb everything that I first learned about, because I only kind of half understood it at the time.
Yeah.
Or half understood the importance. But Success School is really what really made the difference for me, at least.
Good. And if you all have any suggestions, like if you do go back through it, I made a file. Sorry, that's loud. I made a file under. You can open it. That's okay. I made a file under our group that's just like changes or suggestions to add to the Success School, because, like, I want you also to remember that this is not like a me thing. Like I said, I can copy it. You can take it over and you do it at your own any point that you want to. This is like an us thing, because I don't want you spending your time doing things that, like, we can do as a group together. I want things to be like set it and forget it, one and done. So the more we improve group resources, put them in a pot, then when you're ready, I can help you brand them for yourself. But yeah, don't hesitate to help me or tell me what to do to update it or make it better.
Sorry, I had to unmute myself. Can you talk a little bit about, new coaches who maybe sign up as a discount coach or who sign up as a coach because they think maybe down the line they'd be interested, but they're really nervous about talking about it at all because I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I haven't even done my program yet. I'm not sure I want to sell. Can you talk a little bit about that kind of beginner mindset or how we can help move our discount coaches beyond that mindset?
Absolutely. I think it's like out of all those things I said, so like they're not going to want to be consistent yet. They're not going to want to be vulnerable yet. They're not going to want to worry about the 5-step invite yet, even though I would say that they should learn it so that they know. Personal transformation, lighting an image, like those kind of things aren't going to matter as much. The 3 things that would matter to those people are success goal. Get that in their hands and just say, listen, I know you think like you don't want to do this, but when you have time, like how long, maybe say like this, I've broken this down into like 27 days worth of modules. I know you're not like, don't have time. You're not sure if you want to do it. So if the normal rate that someone would try to get this done is a month, how long do you think would be fair for you to try to just break it down and get it done? Let them set the time frame. 2 months, 3 months. I'm like, okay, so is it okay if I just check in with you? That would, break it down and be like, okay, let me see. That would be 2 modules every week. Would it be okay if I just check in, every week, every other week and see if you've, caught up? And so we can talk about or answer any questions. So just because I think like it's a committed, non-committal way to say, like, let's go at your own pace. I just want you to learn just in case like people come to you and just so you can kind of see what's going on. The other would be the community. So figure out ways, like if you don't have a success partner, get a success partner or tell me like what you want me to do to reach out to them, to pull them into the community, to love on them, to, give them encouragement. Because so I didn't think that I was going to do this as a business. Well, that's not true. When I decided I was going to do it, I decided I'm just going to do this like to make $50, $75 a month, like whatever. And then I just am kind of obsessive. So I started learning a lot. But I think honestly, when I would write like on something on Dynasty United or ask a question, if like Brittany Leggett would say like, that's great, or something like that, I'd be like, oh my gosh, I'm doing great. Okay. And if I like saw my name on some board, I was like, I don't even know what that means, but that is awesome. So, that's like part of the community. It's just figuring out ways to encourage them because like I said, like it doesn't matter what it is. All of us can use, the world beats you down. Kids beat you down. Like people are not nice. You're fighting your own lies in your mind. Like whenever I get a compliment, I don't know about you guys, whenever I get a compliment, I think, well, that's not true. Nah, that's not true. And so we're already hating on our own self. So anytime we can show somebody love, it doesn't matter whether or not they're going to do the business. It's just like nice. It's kind. And then the last one was personal development. So maybe you want to make that investment and you want to buy them a personal development book, like an audio version. So it makes it super easy and just say like, hey, I really like this book. It really kind of gave me some big picture ideas or whatever, or really helped me with this. If I bought this for you, I don't want to buy it for you and you just not listen to it. But if I bought this for you, would you listen to it this week when you're in the car or when you're putting on your makeup or whatever? If I, would you? So those are the 3 things: community, success, school, and personal development, and just break it down into a really non-scary way that's like helping them and making it about them. Because I just think that this is an incredible opportunity, like incredible opportunity. And I really think that our team is I'm telling you guys, give me until January to just show you like where this team is gonna go. Like we're gonna be doing really well. So don't be afraid to share, and don't be afraid to invest in people and believe in them and want something good for them, because that's how I feel about it at this point. Is not about me getting coaches or whatever. It's about, oh my gosh, all these 10 years of like craziness and insane like business stuff, and like leaving my kids to work and figuring this all out, and like this was all for this. This was all so that I can help people not have to do that, like not be stuck, not have to leave their kids. So I really believe in this, and like why wouldn't I try to share this if I believe that God's equipped me with certain talents to help other women and help families, you know, like change their lives. So don't be afraid to just care about people and being invested. But that's a really good question, and that's something that I need to do better at too. And so also I will add to that, I'm going to make a follow-up book, because we all need more little books and PDFs that's going to be for tracking coaches, so that you can keep track of, like, if you have a discount coach, when the last time you did encourage them was, you know, or ask them how they were doing, or if you've asked them if they've done Success School and that kind of stuff. Because sometimes it's just so much up in our head that we just don't get around to actually, you know, doing what we are feeling. So. Any other questions, guys? My dog's snoring.
I can ask one more, but I feel like I'm stealing.
Well, I feel annoying, so please go ahead.
So I started using the contact list that's on the, you know, the tools page or whatever, that Beachbody made finally, because I needed to streamline things. And so I'm just wondering, do you use that and like a THRiVE book, or do you just use the electronic version, or like for keeping track of who you're talking to and all of that?
Yeah, I can show you what I've been doing, and then what I've switched it over to. Okay. I'm going to share a screen.
I feel like I want to use the THRiVE book for more like tracking my power hour and kind of like, you know, like monthly goals and all that. But I've started using the contact list, and I think I like that. And I don't know, I want to spend time writing it two different places.
It's really what works for you. And sometimes you don't know at first. Okay. So this is what I have been doing, is I entered in all of my Facebook friends. Okay. And then I color code people. So like yellow means that I am trying to get to know them and talk to them and invest in them. Red means her husband is in stage 4 thyroid cancer, and I better not invite her to a challenge group right now. Green means I've invited them already. And, you know, I'll put like little comments here. So, I mean, this definitely works really well, especially, yeah, it works. It works well because I like to see the yellow, because I can just, when I'm lost, I can go and see, okay, what I've done with the yellow. And it's nice to see who I've already invited in the green, so I don't, you know, go back. But at the same time, if I'm looking through messages, I would be able to see, oh, I've already invited them. So I don't know, like what I was running into is that I wouldn't always be able, I do work so much on my phone. I wish I didn't. I wish I could work on my computer, but it's just the reality. Like there's multiple days where I get very, very, very little computer time. And on my phone, like having something like that is just too much for me. It's too hard for me to go in and click and do stuff. And so, and like I said, I would print stuff and I would like lose it. So for me, I like to be able to, and also I would add people like friends in Facebook. But I would be like, I don't need to go and add them to that list right now. Like that felt like it was slowing things down. But I find myself, if I'm adding friends in Facebook, I will write it down in this thing real quick. And then, you know, like I'm thinking I'll probably get highlighters and do some type of coding with that too. But right now I'm liking this, the written version for myself, because I made it so there's like, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's 20 white cells. So like basically to make a goal of like filling up all 20 cells a week. Pink would be like if you're like going at it. Like when I first started my business, I just went like at it. And yeah, so the goal would be to fill all these different white ones up. So for me, it's helpful because I can carry this to my car. I can carry it to the kitchen. Like the kids can be, you know, doing something and real quick I can be like, okay, I need to just follow up with somebody. Here's the names. And I'm not having to open up the app. I can always flip back, you know, like in my book, like to it's really how you think. I don't think there's a wrong way. I think you kind of you might as well try 2 ways until you figure it out.
Yeah, I sort of started color coding, you know, like green means I've already got them on my team, or, you know, pink is I'm currently chatting only, or, you know, whatever. So I've been doing something similar to that, but I'm in front of my computer most days. So yeah, I'm not at a stage so yet that I have so many conversations starting each day that I can't, you know, go back through my feed and figure out who I need to add. Mm-hmm. I'm sure it'll get crazier. So
yeah, it does get crazy. Anybody else have any like new coach basically onboarding? Like, I mean, because like I said, the whole goal, and I'm not great at this, so you guys are probably thinking, well, she was not good at that with me. I totally know that. I don't have anybody teaching me really like how to do this. So I feel like I'm having to kind of like, you know, invent it and new processes. So I need you to be patient with me, but I want you all to start. I do want to equip you all to coach your coaches. But I also want to let you know that I totally realize the power of reaching down into the downline and adding credibility and just helping you all out with that. So you're welcome to, you know, tell Sam and I like, hey, can you reach out to this person? Just say hey, encourage them, you know, that kind of thing. Anybody else? It's almost 2 minutes till 9. I don't know if anybody, like more people are going to come at 9 because most of you are not super new. Anybody having, like I said, any more advice that you like was helpful for you or would be helpful?
I just feel like I'm hearing from my friends, and again, I've gone the discount coach route. So everyone pretty much I've signed up for, except for like 2 people who I could not convince to buy the challenge pack and the coach discount. So I don't really have anyone who's currently thinking they want to coach. And so everyone just feels very like there's too much information. I can't handle that. And so I think just like letting people, like being okay with that. Like just focus on, and I've said a few times, just focus on getting your product and understanding it and implementing the plan into your life. Like you need to have the change before you're going to be able to share the change with anyone else. So that's kind of what I've just said to my people. Like you're set up to one day be able to do this as a business, and next week or 2, you just need to focus on learning how to eat better and get your workouts in. Like, would you think that's a fair thing to say to people who are like, I do not know if I can do all of this?
Yeah.
We'll just focus on what are you eating and are you moving?
Are they like added into the groups and it's just like overwhelming?
Yeah, I think for most it's like, sure, I'm willing to be a discount coach, but that doesn't mean I want to coach. So I've literally only added 2 people into our coaching groups out of all of my discount coaches.
And that's fine because, I mean, most of I don't even bother adding my discount coaches into anything ever. I just do it for them so that they get a discount. And I will say the nice thing about adding people as discount coaches to build your rank too is that people can't steal them from you. Because that happens sometimes, is people will be like, oh, so I had a challenger who's a family friend, and she had somebody at school be like, hey, I'm doing 21 Day Fix too, like we should do it together. And like, yeah, we should do it together. And she didn't want to really interact in the online challenge group, which is fine. I totally get that. That's fine. I would check in with her. And so her friend's coach said, if she's going to be learning everything that I teach you, then she has to sign up to be under me as her coach. And don't worry, it won't take anything away from her coach, like from me. Won't take. And it's like, that's a lie. That's not true. So I don't know. That was like don't ever do that to someone, first of all. But, second of all, is like, if they are signed up as a discount coach, like people can't, even try to pull that stuff, because people don't know, like they don't understand. That's why people will sign up through different links, like just go onto random, Beachbody, or Tori had someone like go to Amazon. Like they don't get it. So we just have to have like, some mercy and grace with them, and not get discouraged, because I'm telling you, the first month as a coach, it's like everything bad happens. Like people sign up for different links, like I don't know, just like weird, bad stuff. I was on live chat like every day, I felt like. So I don't know if that God just like lets that happen so you like get strong and get out of your system, or if it's just a kind of a very subtle like a shift in how you talk to people, or how you do things, like subtleties. I wanted to real quick, some of you had mentioned like the challenge groups getting kind of big and overwhelming, and so I wanted to address that. There's a real fine balance between challenge groups being too small. Okay, the key to a successful challenge group is a Tori. Okay, you see Tori right here? That's the key to successful challenge group, because she's hilarious. She makes everybody laugh. She makes everyone feel like she likes them and they're part of something. And that has nothing to do with me. Doesn't matter if there's 200 people in the group or 10 people in the group. If there's not a Tori in the group, it might be totally dead. So anyway, the risk of having it too small is that you're not upping your percentages of having Tories in the group, or Jenna's in the group. Like there's just certain people that they just show up and they're just consistent, and you love them and everybody loves them, and they make the community a community. And so the risk of having it too small is that you're not going to get somebody like that. Like your odds just aren't as good. Of course, if it gets big, then some people that are more shy are going to say they feel uncomfortable. So what I want to start doing, but I've got to talk to Leah and Beth and Bryce about this, because I lead my groups with them. What I would ideally like to start doing is having like a 30, 60, or 90 day. I'm not sure what the day window would be. Hey, Beth, I'm pitching a new idea of what I think our challenge group should do. So what I would like to do, if you guys are okay with it, and what I'm proposing is maybe a model, is having a very like jam-packed, super informative, like more professional 30, 60, or 90 day challenge group that's a template, but it's awesome. It's great. And building and having it be more education and getting people through their programs. And then after they graduate from that 30, 60, or 90, I'm not sure which amount of days like it should be, after they graduate, then they go into a bigger group that's more self-run and maybe has like muscle Mondays and like, or flex Fridays, or every Sunday you do your best yoga pose, or you post your meal prep pictures, or there's like a little competition, and it just says it up at the top, like what it is, so that people just automatically do it. Because if you've got people, like Tori and Jenna and really like interactive people, then they're going to keep it going. Like it's going to need less coaching anyway. And that way it won't get redundant, like preseason won't get redundant with all the preseason won't get redundant every single month. So that's that's what I propose. Start with the small group, have it be really informative. They graduate to a larger group, because even if they go to a larger group, if they're kind of like, oh, I don't want to share anymore, they still have the value of just having it. Like for me, the value at this point, at first it was the information. Now it's just having my feed blow up with everybody working out and eating healthy, because I'm like, I need to do this, you know? So that's what I'm proposing.
I think we're on the same wavelength here, Ash, because I was just telling Katie that I wanted to start doing that like 4 days ago.
Yeah.
That I wanted to start doing like one small one where I could kind of hold my challengers' hands a little bit and then let them be part of the big group, because the big group is so informational, especially with like the recipes and stuff, because someone's always finding a new recipe and it's not me having to search Pinterest for it, because amazingly enough, I'm not a Pinterest fan. So yeah, I was just talking about that, and I think it would really, really help, because, you know, we started the 50 pounds or more one, and it's got up to a really slow start, but the couple people that are participating in it, I can tell it's really helping them.
Good.
So
helping other people. They just
instant on your right. On
talking, you know, you're like, this is
yeah.
And I think also if we do it that way, we can make really good templates. I mean, honestly, if we did it and you can do whatever you want with a challenge group, but if this was kind of the model, then the nice thing about it, once you made like an amazing, like I said, 30, 60, or 90-day template, you can use something like Sendable, and you could schedule out a year's worth of groups. And then you would like not really have to barely do anything in a challenge group except post your workout pictures every day. So like, that's the kind of thing that I'm talking about. Like, we got to work smarter, add more value, but work smarter, not more. So that's kind of a way that we can have both. Oh, shoot, I felt like I forgot something. Yeah, anyway, I don't know if that helps as far as challenge. What I wanted to say is, I don't know if you guys do this, and so I want to make sure that I say this so that I'm not like missing this, but I do try to check in with everybody, all of my challengers, twice a month. So every other week. And if somebody's not going to reply after 2 or 3 weeks through, you know, or times, then at that point I would say, hey, you know, Sarah, I totally don't want to be annoying to you. I just want to be there to keep you accountable and encourage you. But so because I haven't heard back from you in a couple of weeks or months or whatever, I'm not going to bug you anymore unless you let me know that this is actually, you know, helping you. So kind of like cut them loose in that way after 2 or 3 times of them not responding. But I think that's a way that you can add like a personal touch. And that's also something, as you grow, that you can outsource as well. You can have somebody, you can pay somebody to send out those messages, and then you're fielding all the replies. Like, you're still doing the conversation back and forth. You're just you're making sure that you're consistent with asking them how they're doing. Is there anything else, guys? Okay, let's start. Okay, well, I wanted to, so I've mentioned it in some of the calls before, but this team seems to do really well with competitions because the past couple months that we've done like a competition, everybody's like killing it in that area. And like, I've noticed that this month, I don't feel like everybody's being as consistent with their workout posts. But when it was a challenge, everybody was really consistent. And I think there was a lot more Success Club points last month too, with everybody being consistent just with their workouts. This month, the challenge was for coaching, talking about the coaching opportunity. And I feel like everybody's killing it with that, doing really, really well. So I'm going to continue doing these challenges. But I want everybody to just kind of remember I want you to pick up on the patterns. Like, and if something feels like off or it's changed or you're not getting as much interest, or people aren't responding, then remember, oh, am I doing my daily workout post? You know, am I making those really creative, that kind of thing. So don't drop off one behavior because you're focusing on a new one. But I do want to talk, since we've only got like a week left in the month, I do want to just kind of talk a little bit more about talking about the coaching opportunity, you know, creative ideas, how private invites have gone, just let you kind of like discuss it so that we can really go for it this next week. And like I said, it's not like next month you want to not do it, but hopefully if you try everything this month, you'll be able to see what works well for you and make that a pattern in the months ahead. Because I mean, honestly, guys, like if you start doing math as far as like financially and building a team, it's so much easier if you're not the one that's just, you know, building and, you know, doing all the challenge packs. So the more that you can build a team under you, it's working smarter, not harder. And like I said, this is a really good opportunity, and this is the time. I don't think there's like a time that's going to end where it's not good to be on it. And something I want everybody to like think about it. If you ever get to the point where your Facebook you feel like it's just like so many Beachbody coaches, I want you to think, one, who are these Beachbody coaches? Are they people on my team? And are they people from Beachbody that added me because they saw me? Because if they're those people, then wipe them all out and then think about who is Beachbody coach. Because there's really not that many at all. If you're not looking at like the people on our team and the people that are from like Dynasty United that have, you know, followed you or you've added and that kind of stuff. There's really not that many. But let's say a year down the line, 2 years, 3 years down the line, there's just like everybody's, you know, doing this. That is okay. Even if that was the case, that is okay for several reasons. One, because we're starting now. That's one reason. We're starting earlier. The other main reason is nobody says that with any other career. Like nobody says that. Nobody when they get into photography, and that's not a good career. I'll just tell you that. It's not fun. It's like horrible hours. And if you want to make money at it, you have to just like die for it. And you have to have employees and then you pay them all your money. So anyway, let's say I want to become a photographer. Nobody that's passionate about it says, oh, I'm not going to do it because there's so many photographers. They don't say that. They say, I'm going to be the best. I'm good and I'm going to be the best. If somebody wants to be a nurse, nobody says, oh, there's so many nurses. Like, it's going to be so hard to get into Edison State College into the nursing program. There's so many nurses. Nobody says that. It is hard to get into that program, but nobody says that. They are passionate about becoming a nurse, about helping people, about helping their family, having a steady income. Nobody says that. So this is a legit thing. And the sooner you like think about it like that, and you realize the same for the same reason, anybody that's like say in a creative field, photography, graphic design, you know, just anything, like resort management, anything like that. The same reason that nobody fears away from getting into one of those is the same reason that we don't need to, because we can do this better. We're not getting paid for our time. We're getting paid for our skill. So all we've got to do is become more skilled at what we're doing than everybody else. And I'm telling you, like, we've got smarties on this team. So we can do that. We can be more skilled. So the more you start educating yourself about what you're doing, and educating yourself is going to be listening to the personal development. And you know what, I think the term personal development is almost misleading because it seems like a little bit kumbaya. And if you're not totally into like kumbaya, like make myself better, then you might just discount it as like, yeah, I don't have time for that. Honestly, the stuff that I'm listening to, it's like hardcore business school, tangible, like takeaways. So for me, that's the type of personal development that I like and I need. Things like training yourself on Instagram. It could be train yourself on taking better pictures with your cell phone. Could be like there's a network marketing podcast by Sarah Robbins, and she's like, she wrote the book How to Rock Your Network Business. I believe that's what it's called. And I think I might be able to, I think I got like a free copy of it on Amazon. I don't know. I can see if I can share that. But she has a podcast. So I was like listening to those the other day for free on iTunes. And she's just talking, you know, kind of about how other network marketing companies, they talk about the opportunities and how they do things. And I thought, oh, that's a good idea. We don't do things like that. That's a good idea. So we got to like look out of the little like Beachbody, Dynasty United, Bombshell, Dynasty Bomb, whatever thing. And we've got to like look into bigger ideas and educate ourselves and become skillful at that. So whatever you're like lacking skill at and you feel like you need to do better at, it might be talking to people, it may be confidence, it may be consistency, it may be procrastination. That's how you personally, and when I say like our team, I mean each one of you personally being successful. Like, this is not fun if we don't do this together. You know, we need to own vacation homes together, like all over the world. So I don't want to have to do that together. Okay, so yeah, we need to just be skilled. So just keep telling yourself that's kind of our goal, is that our team is going to be the skilled team that can take care of people, that they can help people truly because they know what they're doing and truly because they care. They can take care of people both on the business side and in the challenge, you know, group side. Because if you really believe that, the more skilled you become, the more confident you become about what you know and what you have to offer, it's not going to be a problem. Like inviting people, not going to be a problem, and people can sense it too. So, like I have some people tell me, my best friend told me she's thinking about doing the coaching, and she's like, Ashley, I don't know marketing. Like I don't do posting. Like I don't really have that many Facebook friends. I don't really do that kind of stuff. I'm not good at that. Well, I didn't like come out of the womb like knowing how to do stuff. I just taught myself. You just teach yourself things. There's lots of things that I don't do well, like be concise. I need to take a school on being concise and not saying and like. It's really bad. That's somewhere that I could get better. So if you just have any self-doubt or like tell yourselves that you're not good at something, then it's really that you just need to educate yourself more and become more skilled in it. Okay, so having said all of that, let's talk about like coach recruiting. What has worked for everybody? What have you done so far this month, and what do you feel like has worked?
I've mostly been sending out private invites. I've sent out several. I did one public one so far, and I think I want to do another one too. And then I sent out several private invites. And I really took your advice, Ashley. Like, I feel like when I first started with Beachbody, like, I just wanted whoever would be willing to sign up with me. Mm-hmm. But now I've really been thinking, like going through my friends list and thinking of people that I would really want to work with and that I would really love working with, and that I feel like that they, you know, exhibit the kind of qualities that I would want my business, you know, to show to people. And so I like I inboxed a few people that I probably would have been intimidated in the past. But, I just thought, well, what's the worst they can say? Like, just no. They're just going to say no or not write me back. So what do I got to lose? So most of the people so far that I've been inboxing, they're not really interested right now. But I do have one person who said that she does want to do it. So I'm going to keep on doing that, sending the private invites, and then I'm going to do another public one too. I still would really like to do a webinar maybe next week. So I'm kind of thinking about doing that too.
Awesome. That's great. That's really good, Beth, because even those people that say no, like I would have said no to it. Mm-hmm. I would have said no. I mean, Shay didn't even ask me to do the challenge group. I came for her. But I would have said no. But I also would have started thinking about it, and I might have started Googling it. And one of I don't know if Kelly's on here. No, she's not on here yet. So one of my newest coaches, she was a challenger like in October, and she just decided to do the coaching like the last couple of days. And she said she like found all my YouTube videos and like watched all of them. And I'm thinking, somebody watches my YouTube videos? Like, uh-oh, but you just never know. Like the wheels were turning in her head for months. And because I had some type of information out there, or because you invited them, they're going to remember that. So I think that's really, really good. You want to be the first person to invite them.
Actually, something that I read in a book called Good to Great, they talk about how it's not about having as many people as you can on your team. It's about having the right people on your team. And so I've gone through kind of my friends list and like Instagram and all that, and I've found people that I've thought were like have the right kind of mindset that could actually comprehend like the direction that I want, because I don't want people that are going to be posting stuff like 21 day fix, like be a beach body coach. Like I want them to take it as serious as I do. And so I've kind of had some people that I've like been just like kind of investing in and like liking posts and commenting on their posts and kind of putting like kind of like you're just like kind of saying, hey, think about Leah. Mm-hmm. And so I noticed they would like my stuff a little bit more. And one girl that I've just like, she was actually the person that kind of started getting me thinking about becoming a beach body coach. And she isn't a beach body coach. She just like posted a picture of herself in a bikini last year because she had like lost weight. And I was like, that takes guts. And then I saw you doing all your stuff, and I was like, this girl, like, she's just a little bit crazy to where she can do this. And so I kind of like kept investing, and she told me no. Like she told me straight up no, like I don't want to do this. Like I do CrossFit, like this isn't my thing. And I was like, okay, that's totally fine. That's what you. And we met on Sunday, and she did the coaching loop thing that we did, and I think that actually helped her because she saw like kind of like why we're doing, like why all of us coaches are doing it. There's just a bunch of different reasons why all of us do it. And so she was like, okay, I have to meet with you. I have to make sure that this is legit. And so she like drilled me, and I just like talked to her for a long time, and she was like, I'm doing this. I'm gonna do it. Like she's like, I've got to do this. So she went from hardcore no to, okay, I'm gonna do this. This is, and she has a friend that sells the wraps, like the It Works wraps. And I was like, so what do you think about that? And she was like, I think it's crap. And she was like, I'm not going to just sell anything. She's like, I don't want to just like put my name on anything. I want to know what I'm doing. And I was like, you know what? Like, this is what I believe. And I don't want you on my team if you're going to, not believe the same way I do. And she like really respected that. Mm-hmm. And so I think it's important to kind of like have your convictions and like know like why you're doing what you're doing and like be really strong in that, and like people respect that, and I think that she'll be a better business builder than if I was like, please, anybody that wants to be a coach, like, come. So like it takes a while. Like, it was a year ago that like I saw her posting that stuff.
Wow.
But, you know, like it's all about investing, and like I think if we all think like long term, if we're really sold into the idea of like, living healthy and like inspiring people and like becoming influencers, like we're just gonna, like, it's time will work itself out if you're really like living by your convictions. So that's kind of what I've been learning here lately.
It's
like,
really good.
you just keep living by like your convictions and doing what you know is right, and investing in people, and just kind of going on your gut about like what you think. If you think that people are going to like line up with the way that you think, then it's really, I don't know, it just seems to really be working as far as all that goes.
It's so true. And it's just like swallowing your own pill first, like realizing I get to be happy. Like I want this. I want to be happy. I like the way I feel. I can be successful at this. I can do this. It's first getting over your own self. Because once you get over your own self and you realize, whoa, I can do this and we can do this together, and I know how to teach you how to do this, like you're really offering something really huge. But like you said, like, I mean, sometimes I think of some of the people that I invited at first, and I'm like, they were just kind of ditzy. I'm just going to tell the truth. Like, I would have been like, oh my goodness, like you don't even get it. So no, I want like smart, brave, strong women. Honestly, I want women, and I'm fine with men. I don't know how to coach them as well yet, but I want women who have been through some stuff. I do. Because like I want women who have not like had some rough life, but you know what I mean, who have been through enough hardship and had to get over it and overcome that, like they've got that internal part that you can't teach. You can't motivate, you can't teach. So that's really, really, really good. So that book's good to great. I've heard of that, but it's good. Okay. Thank you.
So, hey, Ashley, I have a question. Have you seen some of the coaches who will post a link to an application?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've been thinking about doing that. Have you ever tried that?
Yeah, I have. The application that the application that they usually use is WooFoo, WUFOO. And the reason they use that, you can use like I think with WooFoo you can use it for free with up to like 2 applications. And after that you have to pay more. But there's also Google Drive. They have forms that you can do and get a link, and people will get those. But with WooFoo, it alerts you via email if anybody's filled one out. I've never had anyone fill one out. I mean, it's not like I do it every single time, but I never did. So I was like checking my email, you know. For all I know, somebody's like filled one out now, and I don't check my email enough. But I don't know. Like, I do think I think, Beth, I think it's, for me, it's a down the line. Once I get my website set, once I have like my freemium on it, once I'm using Instagram to lead people to my freemium, getting their email, having things more like less in my warm market and more in a total cold market, that's when I think that is just a great way to streamline things. It would be really good. So you might as well try it. Like, there's no reason not to. And it might be that I didn't, you know, I tried it 4 months ago and like, I don't know, people just not ready to commit or whatever. So that's a good question.
Okay.
Oh, I wanted real quick, just because I'm going to forget, but I want to go back. I posted on the THRiVE group just an idea, everyone to maybe toss around, is Carly Del Carlo, who's like got 41,000 Instagram followers. She's number 7 in the company. She, definitely someone to like check out. She runs her whole business from Instagram and email, but she is trying this new concept this month where it's an internship, like a training internship combined with her like challenge group. So she's only taking X amount of people, but basically it would be like, hey, while you're getting your booty in shape, I'm going to train you how to be a Beachbody coach. So like for people that maybe like said, I want to get my results first, or that, you know what I mean? Like that kind of stuff where you're like walking with them on that journey intensively. I thought that was a very interesting idea for like a well-rounded, do it, 2-for-1 kind of deal. I think it might be worth trying sometime.
Yeah, I saw on somebody's profile recently, maybe it was something that you shared, like the idea of inviting people to like a challenge group, basically that's training them to coach. So I was kind of toying around, maybe trying to try that in May, like maybe offering 2 tracks. Like, do you want the Makeover Me May, which would be just a challenger, which most likely will still be discount coaches,
Yeah.
or do you want the Mentor Me track, where both of them are going to work on helping you with your fitness, goals. But one is to let this become your business, and the other is, you're focusing on making yourself over. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm just toying with maybe, how could I do 2 separate invites, or is it one invite and you choose which side you're going? And should I maybe try the application to make it seem more professional? Because I've thought about that too. Like what Beth was saying, will using an application make it seem like there's a waiting list, and what are you waiting for? Because you want to get in on this. So, but I'm also only a few weeks in, so I don't know if that makes me look stupid. Like, really, you have a waiting list? You've been doing this for 5 days. So I gotta be careful with that too.
I don't know. I think you just test things out. I mean, because like, I feel like I'm gaining legitimacy. So maybe it was that I tried it earlier and it just didn't go, or maybe I'm not as consistent with my public invites and like as schematic. I feel like I need to schedule them out the month ahead, something like really, because it's so funny, it's like every time I post a public invite or a transformation picture, people message me. Mm-hmm. I wonder why I don't do that more often. Like every single time I'm like, oh, well, that worked. Like I did one of Sam today, like running and then flowers, and like, man, this is such a different story. He was like so happy that he got to run after 24 hours of being up, and he's in such good shape. And people were like, I had like 3 people message me like, okay, so I think I'm ready to do that. Or, so just tell me, what is the difference? Because my husband's angry too. I'm like, let me tell you the difference. So, but I think, well, why don't I just do that twice a week like I tell everybody to do? So they work, they really do work. Just so you know, you guys, the loop game, I think, was a pretty big success, don't you think?
Can I talk about that?
Yeah.
Loop game was awesome.
Okay.
Like, I just had a conversation today with one of the girls who played and started with me, and she said she had been like thinking about messaging me for a long time, and like the loop game was just the spark. And so she will be actually ordering on Friday, and she's going to be a coach, and I don't know if she's going to like dive into the coaching stuff right away, but I'm really encouraging her to do it because like always said, the beginning part of your journey is so powerful, and I think she'd be really good at it. So I'm very excited about that. I had 3 people play. The other person, I think she will eventually become a coach. I'm like kind of pushing her to do it because I know she's going to be awesome. But even if she doesn't do it right now, I'm very confident she'll do it over the summer. Right now it's just crazy because it's finals.
Yeah.
And then the third person that played isn't going to do it right now because she will be gone the whole summer on a missions trip. But I have a feeling she'll probably come around and do it eventually. And then I used it as a really great invite tool. So I was like, this is just awesome. Like, people should do this because it's a chance at free money. Like,
it's a good idea.
Even if you're not going to be a coach, even if you're not interested, like, so I literally said that I like.
That is such a good idea. Why didn't I do that?
I know, right? And I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't think of this until the last day. But so I sent out so many invites on Monday. Just like, hey, even if you're not interested in this, even if you haven't even heard of this, like, go check out this loop game. It's a chance for free money. Like, and then they saw it, and even if they didn't talk to me yet, I know that people saw it and are gonna be thinking about it. It's in their head now. And like, I had somebody who I invited to it. She watched the video. She was like, "You're so cute in that video, but I love my food, so no for right now." But like, it was just like, she's she's
At
got
some point, there's going to be a need. I mean,
so.
That's awesome, Krista. That's really, really awesome. So you guys, the rest of you that weren't in our like loop game, I think it was really successful. It cost each of us $20. And yeah, I think it was super successful. So if you're interested in doing that, we can walk you through it, and I'm going to try to do like a how-to or something like that.
What I liked about it is it felt like a backhanded way to be like, listen to my story, especially because I struggle with being like, in my role, my actual job, I'm like a church famous person. And so I have to be careful of promoting Beachbody too much and all that. So it's like, I could say, hey, did you watch my video? Like in a message, hey, watch my video. I'd love for you to know a little bit more about my story, without being like, there's no reason I'm doing this.
Right.
I'm doing it to try to give you money. So watch it, and I'm amazed at how many people watched it, whether or not, they've actually talked to me about it yet. But, if the stats are even somewhat right, a lot of people watched it. So.
Does anybody have any intentions of doing a webinar?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw the comment, because I know comments can get crazy, but I don't know how to edit what you posted.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So the girl that I hired to do it, I'm just really picky. I'm really picky when it comes to like graphics. And so like normally I would just be like, okay, just stop. Like just give it to me. I'll pay you. I'll fix it. I'll do it myself. Cause I'm just really picky. Like I like it. And she did a great job. It just wasn't my brand style. So I'm like, okay, I need to like stick with this, see if she can get it, because if she can get this, then I can use her in the future, and it's easier to not reteach somebody. So she's just taking a little bit longer to get it. But so all I have right now is like her past version. I don't have like the PowerPoint version. But what I think you could do, Krista, I'm not totally sure, but what I think you could do, if you're like, don't want to, and I messaged her today to ask like when I should expect it, but if you didn't want to wait, what you could do is go to Google Drive in PowerPoint, and I think you could insert, upload, import the slides, and then just get rid of the ones that you don't want or that you want to replace. Does that make sense? You'd have to recreate them. You wouldn't be able to click and get rid of my stuff. You'd have to recreate a couple slides. But if you don't want to wait, because like I asked her to be done last Wednesday, I think, or 2 Wednesdays ago. Anyway, I think it was 2 Wednesdays ago. So I'm still working on it, and I'll let you guys know as soon as I have the editable. That's a crazy word to say. One ready, but for now, if you wanted to use it, you could just try it that way. So. Oh, other teams too, I'm trying to find out more about this. They do, like, and this is something that a lot of multi-level marketing, network marketing companies do, is they do opportunity calls, and you're, like, for a while, your upline sponsor or coach or whatever co-hosts them with you. And I don't really know a lot about how to do that, so I'm trying to ask other people in the Diamond group that do that what they say or how they do that, because I just don't want it to be pressure or like awkward. Like to me, if you're like watching a video or a webinar, even if people come, like you can't see them, so you can't see like if they're bored and they're like, oh my gosh, get me off of here. You can't see that. I don't want to. I don't know. I don't know. I think everything should just be tried because you just don't know. It might be really, really great. But that's another avenue that I'm going to try to learn. And I think that would basically be doing a group phone call or a group Zoom call where you have some type of outline, kind of like a webinar, but a little bit more one-on-one. So as I learn that, I'll try to pass that on too.
Hey, I just attended one of those, actually. Have you ever heard of Melaleuca?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay, I just attended one of those, and the webinar, like the slides, you had to get on your computer or phone or whatever to see the slides, but then you also had to call in at the same time and listen over the phone.
Oh.
So yeah, so I like talked on my cell phone while I sat at my computer, and it was two ladies. It was like the girl who invited me, and then I guess it was like her upline, and then they were presenting to me and another girl, and it was kind of neat too because what?
Can you sell Melaleuca, Beth?
No, I'm not going to sell it, but I actually signed up for it, and I don't even know if I want to do it, but it was kind of like when you ordered Jamberry from that girl that time, because this girl, she was like, well, I'm interested in Beachbody. I think I'll probably will sign up next month. And by the way, like, would you be interested in taking a look at something that I'm doing? And so anyway, yeah, I signed up for it. We'll see how it goes. But okay, I liked at the end of the webinar because like they didn't put pressure on you right then to order, but they said, okay, let me know which one of these you would be, a 1, 2, or 3. So would you be would you consider yourself a 1, like somebody that would be interested in just signing up with Melaleuca just to purchase products? Or a 2, would you most be interested in signing up with Melaleuca just to earn a little bit of income? Or 3, are you interested in being like a business builder with Melaleuca? And so then she asked each one of us, like, what would you consider yourself? Okay. And so I thought that was kind of neat. And then when we got off the call, the girl who invited me just told me like that she would be in touch with me about, if I wanted to sign up or not. So
cool. So it's basically like a webinar, like with the Any Meeting software that we have, you can open it. I believe you can open it up to be like a Zoom call. I'll check that because that's interesting. Yeah. But you didn't talk while they were giving the presentation, right? Just at the end, or? Yeah,
I could. Yeah, they asked me some questions. Yeah, because it was just like a regular phone call. Like I just called the phone number and like had to put in a code, and then she talked and like controlled the slides, online. I just watched it, but she talked over the phone. I probably could find the link and see if I can find like who they use to do that.
Okay, yeah, and I'm gonna try to get the info from like these other people in the Diamond group, because like I said, I think that different people's markets have different grooves and vibes, and I think the more we just have to, this is the thing, guys, do the easy things, okay? Like Shakeology is the easy part of what we do. The exercise is awesome but horrible. Like it hurts but you feel good. But the Shakeology is just easy, okay? So like private invites hurt. They're just hard. They hurt and they take your time. Public posts, loop games, webinars, a call like this, like let them be the Shakeology. Let them just, you gulp it down, you try it. Just let it be the easy part. Let it attract more people and do, less work. So it's really scary to do the first one, but even if you just say, hey guys, can you just show up on this? So I just have a couple extra names on it. You know what I mean? That looks like, I don't care. When I did my webinar, I was presenting to like 5 of you guys, like 5 coaches and like 3 people. But then you have a recorded version, and that's great to have a recorded version because it's, GoPro talks about always, Sam, how does he say it? Sam? Oh, Sam walked away. He's good at remembering quotes. He says something like, you always want to prepare for the next encounter. Sammy? Yeah. What is GoPro? What does he say about always preparing for like the next encounter or the next?
He said every encounter you want to set up for the next encounter. So it's not really about ever selling anybody anything. It's about the next encounter, what he was talking about. So what he was saying is when he started out, he thought, what I have to do is I'm going to invite this person to a sales pitch and then I have to close. And he's like, that doesn't work. What you would want to do is invite them to the next encounter. And that next encounter is how you get the next encounter. And you really keep going through the whole time. So essentially, like, you would say, are you interested in doing a challenge group? And then what's that? And then it's kind of how you always end with a question and kind of put it back in their court. But when kind of lost my train of thought what I was going to say.
You were saying if you want to do a challenge group, what's that? Well, what are your goals? Okay, if I sent you a video, would you watch it? What did you like best? Okay, can we pick out a program for you? Which of these 3 do you like best? You're always asking them like a next question. So if you're going to choose like one of these things, it might be, hey, would you come to a webinar if I hosted it just to find out? Yes, okay.
One of the things he said that was really genius, I thought, was that he said, like, he would do a presentation and say, well, what do you like? And they would say something. And he said, well, why don't we, I've got a lot going on. Why don't we meet, what day would be good for you? And he would set up the next encounter, and then he would come prep for what they had just talked about. So it wasn't about him like having this whole rabbit trail of things he could go on in a conversation. That encounter was going to be brief, and then he was going to set them up to do a better answer on the next one on what they were doing.
That's also good too about like not being like panicky that you're going to lose somebody, because you want somebody that's going to be committed. So, make it casual. And also don't be afraid to, I hate talking on the phone. I really hate talking on the phone. But if it's something that I feel like is interesting or is going to be fun, don't be afraid to talk on the phone with somebody or meet them in person or do a webinar, something like that that gives them personal contact, because people are way more likely to trust you and invest back in you if you spend that time with them. I think, I don't know if I told you, yeah, I think I maybe posted this, but I had been talking to someone for like months and months and months. And I just reached out. I'm like, I love the way you do your eye makeup. I think you guys saw this. I love the way you do your eye makeup. Would you teach me how sometime? She's like, yeah, maybe we should FaceTime. So I just texted her. I'm like, hey, like a couple days later, would you want to FaceTime now? I have to get ready anyway. So she's like, sure. So we spent like an hour and a half, and she taught me how to do her makeup, and we talked about life. And I talked about Beachbody, like that I loved it and it's been good, but not like in a salesy way. Just like, this is part of my life. Didn't ask her about the challenge group, anything. And like, I checked my phone 5 hours later, but I looked, and like 15 minutes after we had gotten off the phone, she was like, okay, I need to do this finally. I need to do it. And it took like that personal connection or investment. So don't be afraid to ask people to, like, it's easier to just spend one phone call or one time with somebody than it is to like just be all crazy about, a million different people. So like Leah said, like, just figure out who you want to work with, whether it's in the challenge groups or with the business, and just, maybe start investing in them and inviting them to that next encounter. So like, let's say you have phone call or lunch or chatting with them, and it's really good. Instead of being like, oh, I don't know what else to say, I don't know how to invest more or do whatever, maybe just be like, hey, like, okay, so Sam had somebody from college that he had been reconnecting with all day today, and instead of like leaving the conversation and just being like, hey, do you want to do a challenge group, or hey, do you want to do this or whatever, or just leaving it like, oh, that was a good conversation. He wrote him back and said, hey, you know what? And this guy's a photographer now, and he played baseball with Sam. Like, I love to catch up with you on the phone. I have something like that I really like to talk to you about. I think he mentioned about it. It's been good. He's like, I have something I really like to talk to you about. I think it would be really, really good for you. Could we talk tonight or tomorrow night? Like, set up, ask them, like, when could we phone call? So, like, Sam's chances of, like, this guy, possibly doing it are way more than if he, like, talks to him and finds out what he cares about and what's really going on in his life than if he just, like, leaves it at, like, some message to be able to check off his list. So I don't want to act like I'm adding work to people, like, saying that you have to be on the phone, because I don't like being on the phone all the time either. But it's worth it if it's, a couple times a week, and it's good for us to, like, talk to people, get to know people. So, okay, sorry guys, I just rambled so bad. Who else? Sanda, what have you been doing?
I've been messaging with one of my challengers who I thought would be a good coach, because he has taught like some kind of fitness class before. He worked out to like Christian music or something. I can't remember. It was like a business around here, and it became popular. And so I think she already has a really good trust group, if you will, like people inquiring about what she's doing already. And I was going to inquire with her about coaching, and I didn't realize Beth had messaged her about, because Beth has my back. Thanks, Beth. But, like, plugging the idea of coaching to her. And then she messaged me, and we're supposed to meet or have a phone conversation. But she's super busy. She's a mom, a photographer, and has a public job. And so I'm waiting to try to get time with her. And then I did a public invite yesterday just to put out like a coaching opportunity, but I haven't really had any response, which at the same time I don't want to sound bad, but I didn't expect to have much of a response, but I just wanted to get it out there. Yeah. If that makes sense.
That's all you have to do is just get it out there. Some people, it's just planting seeds. Shanda, if you would ever want me to talk to her, like just from like photographer, like past photographer standpoint, I'd totally be willing to do that. Like that, if that you wanted that to be like a next encounter, like you met with her and talked to her, like, you know what, you sound a lot like, my coach's coach, Ashley, who was a photographer for 10 years. Like, would you want to, would you be able to talk to her? Or could I set up a phone call with her?
Right.
If she's not like, okay, I'm ready. That could be like and that's always, I want you guys to know that like I'm always open to that being your next encounter. Like I'll make time for that if that's going to help you as you know everything. Nikki, what about you?
I'm listening. I swear, I'm actually messaging people right now.
I wasn't trying to call you. You said you're going to try to do a webinar. Have you been just mainly private messaging people, I'm guessing?
I've been private messaging, yeah. It's been iffy on my success. The most success I got was for my one coach invite. And the funny part was 2 people were actually already about to sign up for the challenge group, and I never once thought to ask them if they wanted to coach. And as soon as I mentioned it, they were like, hey, I want to coach. And then someone else was the other person that I told you I had no idea who she was. So I think tomorrow I'm going to post one with a little bit more of like an insight of just how it's changed me in the last 2 months, because it really has. But yeah, I'm kind of running to the point now that I'm just going to start, like I have to start talking to more people just randomly, because I've kind of ran out of all my really warm leads.
Yeah.
So now it's like the eat the frog, where I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this. And it's like, I want to mention it without sounding mean to some people and being like, you want to join my fitness group? Like, I swear I don't think you're fat.
No, I wouldn't worry about that. Kelly, I mean, if anything, try to see if you find anything that shows that they're interested at all in fitness or health.
Okay. Like the one lady I'm talking to right now is actually a photographer. And so the reason why I thought of her is because I know last year she quit her full-time job, and I know she's busy. So I was like, hey, this might really help her. And she actually came, and I'm literally like going right off the 5-step invite. I'm like, all right, if I'm going to go out of my comfort zone, I'm word for wording this, minus a couple of things. But and so far so good, and she was like, actually, my fitness has been really off since I quit my full-time job. She's like, I used to run 6 miles a day, and now I'm so far off. She's like, I don't even know if I could walk a couple miles. You know what I mean? She didn't say that, but she kind of like, it's like, I don't even know where I would start. And I was like, hey. And so I gave her a couple of the videos, but she can't watch them tonight. But I mentioned that, I'm like, well, I just put my sister in the program. I'm like, and she's actually like legitimately obese and has never worked out a day in her life. And she's on day 9 right now.
Awesome.
Huge. So I'm trying to go outside the comfort zone, and I'm just going to stick to the 5-step invite and be, because I'm out of that comfort zone. So it's kind of right there, but it seems to be helping.
Yeah, it is a nice like safety net. Like that's why I like it, is it's like just do what it says, and it's like once you get over the pack, like just doing what it says and you memorize it, you realize like, oh, this is how I should be talking to people. It's it's a really authentic way. At first you're like, I'm asking you this, but it's really caring about them.
Yeah.
You take such good pictures, Nikki. I think as far as gaining new coaches, you should really, Nikki, Natasha, everybody that's a photographer, Beth's husband, you should really focus on creating a visual story about coaching in your life. So like Beth, if you look at Beth's, they're really good. She just looks like, I like got a computer with my baby and I'm just like this mommy business, it's like, oh yeah, but they're good pictures. Like they're well lit. She looks good. So you already you've got that. You two have those skills already. So just use them. Like use your photography skills hardcore for everything you can to just paint a visual picture. Don't want to hard sell, just like a visual picture of what your life is. Like I've been really successful with video. And so I'd also challenge you all to get on more video, to do more video. Because people want to hear, like if they think you're snobby or stuck up or salesy in your picture, if they hear, like when they hear me and what an idiot I sound like, they're like, oh no, she's totally not a snob. She's just an idiot. And so then they trust me more. So,
okay. So if I'm going to do like a coach call tomorrow and I was going to do like a little bit of the about me, should I try that in a video? And that could kind of like mix into a little bit of my why, because it has changed it.
Are you saying, okay, what do you mean by a coach call? Like if you
like tomorrow I was going to do a public one with I was just going to take a picture. And
a call to coach.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. I thought you meant like a phone call.
I'm sorry.
Yes. And so I think I think everybody should be trying video. And the key to video is to like look good and have good lighting. Because it means nothing, like nobody wants to press play on something that's dingy and dark, like that takes more effort. It's not just scrolling to read, it's actually pushing play. So my most successful video, well, like to me got the most results, was one that I did for like a 21-day fix gift card giveaway. That was going to give $10 away, and it was the end of the month, and that was the last day they were doing the 21-day fix sale, and this is awesome. And I put false eyelashes on. I did my makeup. I put myself in front of a plain pink background. I dressed like Taylor Swift with like a black turtleneck, and I put a good light in front of me. And so when you look at that, you're like, oh, okay, what's that? So the whole goal is just to get people to start. Because like with the loop game, all you want to do is just tell your story. You just want people to listen. Just get those little words in there, you know? And so you can't do that unless they press play. So that's the key to video, is getting them to press play. And then through that, you get to show them who you are and that you've got a heart for this and for them. And this is a real thing to you. And you're not just like, just an ad.
I shouldn't do with the boxes in the background.
That might be a different type of post.
I totally moved myself out of my closet. This is my closet door right here. So all the boxes that had been stacked, I'm like, out. They're going out.
I wish I could bring my computer over and show them our office workout room. It's like the same.
Wow. Eventually what's going to happen is, see how you can see my half little mini?
Yeah.
It's going to be the same thing as yours. But I have to convince the husband to let me take the bed out. So I'm like, there's a bed over here. So I'm working around it right now. And so I'm like, I'm trying to work with what I got.
You're doing a good job.
It'll be prettier, I promise.
You're doing a really good job. No, that was my point, is that you're doing a great job. And so use it to your advantage. And Natasha, I'm just telling you, you are like an amazing, amazing photographer, and everything you take is so good. So just like give the world as much of that as you can that has to do with you and what you're doing. And just keep consistent with that, because it just like, it's eye-stopping, show-stopping, like that.
Okay.
Hey, Ashley, we're going to real quick talk about Summit.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm like trying to drill this in so hardcore, but Summit, it's just like, it's really important. And I really want, like, unless you're like, Natasha might be out of the country, unless you're out of the country, like have a vacation scheduled for that date, have to be at a wedding that day, I think you just need to figure it out. You need to make it happen. And if I need to help you figure it out, I can try to help you figure it out. But it's like one of those things I just don't. First of all, you're going to learn I can only teach you what I know. I can only teach you what I know. And I only know, like, most of what I know, I'm having to make up. Okay. And I don't mean that. Like, I've taught myself as much as I can, like the corporate side and that kind of stuff. And I put that into successful school. But as far as like business strategy, team build, all that kind of stuff, I'm taking my past experience, blending it in with my new ideas, and that's what I'm teaching you. So if you go to Summit, you're going to learn so much more. We're going to learn together so much more from like extremely successful people that are saying, I'm going to tell you exactly how to do this. And that's just, it's priceless. And then aside from that, like, I'm sure you all saw all the people in Mexico, and I was like, oh, I just want to be there. I just really want to be there. And it's kind of like that. Like, I don't want you guys to not be there when we're hanging out at the opening ceremony at the big baseball stadium, and like going to a party at night and going downtown Nashville to eat food and doing a workout with Shanti, because we have to do one of Shanti's. Like I'm saying, if we're going to do a group one, we have to do Shanti, one of them. But you don't want to miss, I don't know, like those are just big things. And I don't want anybody to miss out on that, because it's the difference between, honestly, it's like, what if this business opportunity had been handed to you and then it was just like, okay, just do it. Just figure it out. Like, here's your login. Just figure it out. how do you think you would be compared to now to then? Like what we all have, we owe a lot to our community and to Brittany and to Lindsay Matway and to Shay, and like we owe that a lot to them because it's confusing and we need that support. So going to Summit is just going to be like that on steroids to propel us. So really, like, I want you all to tell me why you're not going to go. Private message me if you're not going to go so I can talk you into going. Because I really think it's important and I get nothing. There's no benefit for me. So I just think it's very important. Julie, do you have anything to add? Julie, do you have anything to add about Summit?
No, I'm super excited about trying to go, and I know the most economical way to go would be if we could try to get a house together. So I'm just wondering if that's really an option, or if I need to.
So what I'd like to do, guys, is, and I've been searching like for days to find a house that we could rent together, because I think it would be fun. I think we could make it so it was more cost effective. I mean, I'm thinking we just like pile in and bring like mattresses and not get some gross place, but just like use the couches. You know, people sleep in the living room. People sleep on like the floor of a bed, you know, not the floor, but like on an air mattress of the bedroom. And just because when you go to these things, like you leave early in the morning and then you come home to change for the night event. And then you come home and you sleep. Like you're just gone the whole time. So I don't know if you guys would be up for that. What you think? If money's an issue, if it's the $195 registration fee, or if it's the hotel, or like what the roadblocks are in going. Nikki, what's your plan?
I would love to go, but my problem is that it would have to be a family event because my daughter is still glued to my hip, and my husband would die if I left her with him for even a day. I mean, literally, he might keel over and die. And he's a Marine, so he would actually have to have time taken off because he's in call.
Okay.
So, because I looked for even just me, even if I could find a way, and you know, like flight and car would be like $500 because it's not that far. It's just the next state over. It's just the other end of the next state. But
how long does it
to drive?
Yeah,
at least 13 hours.
13 hours, yeah, that's a long.
And then 13 hours with the toddler. Go ahead and make that 15 to 18.
Yeah, that is a long way.
Yeah, because we drove to his mom's in Alabama. That's only supposed to take us 10 hours. And it took us, by the time we got home, I think it was 25 hours. The time before, it was like 15.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, it's a lot of driving. So I just don't know. Had I started earlier, had I started when you first told me about it back in October, like I should have, it wouldn't be a problem. But I think it's just I found out about it too soon. So I don't have the capital, you know, because this part of me doing this was make more money.
Right.
So I don't have the extra. I mean, I mentioned it to him, and I can mention it again. You know, we want to do like one family vacation. I just almost feel like it would be selfish with my mom over in California, and I haven't made it to see her this year.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't think it should be honestly like a family vacation for people unless they're going to stay like a whole week, because those you're not going to be like with your family. It's just going to be like, you know, gone all the time. So you don't have any family or anything that could help watch
in Alabama?
In Alabama.
Well, I mean, I have friends here that could, but I'll have to talk it over with him. And I know that, you know, if I can get to where my goals are in the business and he can really see the difference, he's going to be a lot more like understanding. But if I'm telling him I'm going to go spend, you know, by the time everything's paid for, like $1,000, he's going to want.
And I understand that. And I don't have the kid thing figured out.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to have to figure it out. Either I'm trying to like see if Sam's parents could watch them and we could hire a babysitter during the day for them, or we're going to have to find somebody like that knows somebody in Nashville to babysit while we're there. So, I mean, believe me, I totally understand. It's just, so talk about it, with him. And it's not for me. Like, I don't want to put any pressure on.
No, I definitely want to go.
It's just like, it's one of those things that it's just an investment. And so it's like, if you don't do it, where do you want the turning points, to be? But like I said, I totally,
it's not written off yet, especially because I'm shooting for the free ticket, and I'm really hoping that'll be my gung ho. But
yeah, you can do that.
So I don't. It's like I said, it's not written off. I'm still pushing, and we'll see. If it is, it will be a very last minute thing where I'm like, hey, is there room for one more?
Right.
Yeah. Otherwise, I don't see it being plausible at the moment. But July's a long way away.
Yeah, it is. I feel bad. I don't want anybody to feel like I'm pressuring them for like.
No, I don't feel pressured. I was the same thing. I saw everyone in Mexico, and I was like, never again will I be left behind. Like that was it. I was like, it's not happening. It's just not. I'm not getting left behind again.
Bad. Amanda, are you going to be able to come?
Unfortunately, when I signed up for Beachbody, Beth told me the dates, and I will be in South Carolina the week prior, and we travel from South Carolina to Louisville with stuff that we had already pre-engaged with. So, because it's really close to me.
Yeah,
we travel to Nashville a lot with Trevor's music, but I knew right from the get-go that I wasn't going to be able to because of dates.
Yeah,
No. But I do know someone who nannies in Nashville.
Oh, that's awesome. Can you, do you have my cell phone number? Can you message me their info?
She's a musician, and we've actually, Trevor's actually co-wrote with her and stuff. She's from West Virginia. She's a really sweet girl. She's a young married couple. So as long I'm sure if her dates would line up, that she may be interested. I know she made twins and has nanny twins, I think, before or something. So yeah. Mm-hmm.
That would be awesome. Yeah, message me her info because
okay,
I might have to bring them. That's what it's looking like. But Natasha, you said you're going out of the country probably.
I'm sorry, I was looking for the mute button. Yeah, we're trying to figure out where we're gonna go.
Well, that sounds exciting. Puerto Rico or Mexico, that sounds pretty nice. I don't blame you. And then Krista, I know you're trying to go. Beth, you're gonna go. Stacy, is there any way that you can go? I don't know if you can either. Take us off mute. Don't get in a wreck, Stacy. You can nod or no. Oh, there you go. Oh. I can't hear you, Stacy. Dude. Can you guys hear her? Is it a weird thing with me?
No, I can't hear her.
Okay. Sorry. Shoot. Stacy, we can't hear you. Man, that stinks. Well, message me. I'm assuming, Stacy, there's no way you're going to be able to come, but I would, love it if you could. Stacy's going to come visit me in a couple weeks. In May. Her sister's graduating from college, and she's going to come. Oh, maybe? Is that a maybe? Maybe she's not going to? Okay. I don't know what she's saying right now. Yes, she is. Okay, yay. Oh yeah. So also at Summit, I mean, I'm still working out details, but I love to be able to, our hope is that we can be able to set up some type of mini studio and take some pictures, too, for whoever comes. even if it's not like a real long set of them, just something good, hit, bad, or whatever. So, okay, guys, it's like I ran over, but if there's nothing else. Oh wait, Sam has something to say real quickly.
Hey, Sam.
He's been putting together IKEA furniture and listening.
I don't envy him.
There's a lot of it.
I'm eating my frog. My frog is getting this work. What I was going to say is I was kind of hesitant on going to Summit at first, too, like when Ashley said it. But like back in, I don't know, September? I don't know. But the thing I would say, like if your husband is having an issue with it, a couple things. One is it was in that, and I posted it on THRiVE the other day, so you can just look back. But what they said in GoPro. But the other thing I was going to say was that, you know, if you could kind of project your income and say, like, even if you're just starting out, I know that we're all really just starting out, and say I'm making $100 a week or whatever. Or I can project by then I'm gonna make $100 a week, and I'm gonna ask for like 500 or 1,000. To ask for 10 to 20% of money that you're haven't necessarily counted on, to me seems a fair reinvestment in what you're doing. So if that's an issue for you, for your husband, or for you legitimizing it, I just thought I'd say that. So
No, that helps, because that's kind of what I was thinking. Is like right now, like my last couple weeks, it's been like 100 or 200, and I'm like, well, July's a long ways away. We can get a little closer, and he can see my income, and I can see it, because you're right. I don't want to waste money. I do photography, and I have a lot of wasted money sitting around in here. Yeah. But if he can see it too, he'd be a lot more like, okay, it's worth it. I'll just deal with having to deal with it.
Right.
So that's really why I was saying if it happens, it's probably going to be one of those last minute where I'm like, okay, the income's there, it's showing it's there, so we can go ahead and do it. But I'm just gonna push forward in hopes that I'm gonna make it, and that'll just be one of my goals.
Awesome.
All right, guys. Thanks for coming. If you guys, so I want to just, I'm not going to say long, promise. I want to start having different team coaches host one of the two calls on Tuesdays. Whether it's I'm not sure if I want it to be the all team 9 o'clock call or the new coach call. But that's something I want to start doing because I think it would be good to get fresh insight. So I'll be asking you guys about that as time goes on. So, all right, have a good night. Go work out if you haven't, like I have, and not looking forward to it. Okay, bye.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.